Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the CMG Road Company Showdown. My name is realBluTV. I'm joined with Kresnik. And if you're just joining us, we just got through a 4-game set in the winners bracket. That was the winners finals between Right Turtle, the number 5 seed, versus Hefty Cormorant, which was the number 2 seed coming into this weekend's main event, where we started yesterday with our top 16 teams going into a double elimination bracket. And Right Turtle, they were able to win against not only Cute Hamsters, the number 1 seed, and now today they beat out Hefty Cormorant, the number 2 seed. So they move on to the grand finals. They've guaranteed themselves a top 2 finish in this $10,000 prize pool tournament. And now we're going to be dropping down to the losers bracket to watch the losers finals. We saw Cute Hamster. They beat out, or we didn't see it, but we know that they were able to take out Banana Smoothies. So Banana Smoothies will get the 4th place. I think that's $500 as well. So you can take a look on your screen right there. The prize pool breakdown, $6,000 for first place out of that 10,000. And second place, I believe, gets a nice chunk as well. They get $2,000. It's right there. It's on the bottom of your screen now, ladies and gentlemen. Third place gets $1,000. So Banana Smoothies will get $500. Now, Cute Hamsters versus Hefty Cormorant. That's our next matchup. This is actually the matchup that we had to watch in the finals each week of the qualifiers. So 3 times, 3 weeks in a row, we watched these two teams go at it. Let's take a look at our series layout for this matchup. Lockdown, Demolition, game 1. Icarus for game number 2. We're going to Favelas for game number 3. And then, if necessary, we're going to Breach and then Favelas once again. It kind of seems like it's a trend. Whatever game 3 map is, it's going to be game 5 map. It's worked every single matchup yesterday and today so far, which is kind of cool because now I can just kind of guess it before I even get there, I guess. But I'm excited. We didn't get to see Breach yesterday, so hopefully we get to see Breach today. I mean, this could go 4 games. Cute Hamster, not as strong on the respawns as we saw yesterday. They got completely shut out in all 3 of those against Right Turtle. But then Hefty Cormorant, who is really strong on those respawns that we were talking about, didn't drop a single map yesterday, didn't drop a single round in any of the respawn game modes yesterday. They come in today. They've had some problems against Right Turtle, obviously, because they ended up losing both King of the Hills, and they were taken to overtime in that strikeout, being the final result of 3-2. But let's talk about Cute Hamster, because they're the number 1 seed, right? And you've got 3 out of the same 4 players for them. You've got Gronky, Delena, and Fragout. And then when you look at that 4th member, last month they won the 10K. You're like, okay, they've got ink. This works. They're winning. And they won the 10K. But then all of a sudden they just kind of surprise everyone in the community and say, hey, we no longer have ink. We have Hylight, who used to play with Cannibals, who's now on Hefty Cormorant. I mean, Frag is kind of also taken a step back from those Slayer rogues like Fixer and Kestrel that he was playing very early on. I mean, he still kind of plays the Scorch sometimes, but mainly has been playing things like Dahlia and Trench, more of that support / anchor role. And that's really made a difference for the team because Hylight, Delena, Gronky, they're starting to play those aggressive type rogues.
Yeah, and the rest of the team, I think, will have to adapt around. You said some players are playing the aggressive rogues, and I think just looking beyond that, Hylight, you had mentioned to me earlier. I mean, he had looking good in placements. You mentioned he had some history with other players on the other team, but he yesterday not really holding up necessarily as much as we would want him to here in these games. Now that these respawns are a priority, a mode that Cute Hamsters in the past had been struggling on. And honestly, I had Frag's stream on my other monitor during that game, just so I could keep an eye on what was happening, just to check out on the score. And they were continuing to struggle a little bit on those respawns. They were getting rounds that were kind of close. The Koth they won was 2-1. They lost on the strikeout. The final King of the Hill, that's when they really kind of got their bearings behind them and started getting things rolling. But Hefty Cormorant are a strong respawn team. Even their performance against Right Turtle, I think Right Turtle just are excellent on King of the Hill, but you can tell their strikeout was strong whenever they got the ball rolling, and they kept things close on the King of the Hill most of the time.
Yeah, you talk about Hylight, I mean, struggling yesterday along with the rest of this squad there. I even noted that Hylight has looked amazing. I mean, he was player of the week for me in those matchups. I think 2 out of those 3 weeks, he just looked amazing through the placements or those qualifiers. And now, yesterday, kind of struggled as well as the rest of the team. There's a lot of people that always ask me, is this the best team ever in Rogue Company right now? And I always say it's way too early to even talk about, all time right now. But
Way too early.
But when it does come to some of the best players in the scene, I think Gronky really stands out to me because he used to play a lot of Dahlia. He used to play a lot of Vi. Now he's starting to play Kestrel like 24/7 in these tournaments, and he has really adapted. And then most notably, this team was very bad at things like Strikeout and other respawn game modes. And then they got really good at them. And Gronky was at the forefront of that. He really started grinding. I think he came from like a Fortnite background as well. So there's no respawns in that. I mean, I play a lot of Apex, which is another battle royale, and you can respawn in that. You can't respawn in Fortnite. So Gronky just having the ability to learn and to adapt in his gameplay has really been a big step up for this team. And now they have another test in front of them because if they lose here, they're out. They'll get third place.
Mm-hmm.
The last time Fragout and Gronky got third place was during the European, or I mean, it was NA/EU, but it was the predominantly European $8,000 event back in January of this year. They ended up getting third place, and that's when an EU team actually won that event. I think Pulsa was on that squad as well.
Yeah, a lot of things have changed since then. I mean, January, a lot colder than it is now in this hot Rogue summer that we've kind of cycled back along to. Things have changed, and that might be why these teams at the top are shaking things down. Obviously, if you want to see all the changes that maybe led to this, check out the update notes on realcompany.com. All the information for that will be there. And for the future updates as well, Switchblade update around the corner if you want to get that. But for now, the rest of June, the rest of today will all be on this hot Rogue summer patch here, and maybe that's it. Maybe they're just sweating on Cute Hamsters. Maybe that's the difference. They haven't lost since January. Maybe they just can't handle extreme temperatures. Is that it? Is that you think it might be they just can't play when they're too cold, they can't play when they're too hot?
I don't know. I have had the air conditioning on in my house for like 8 days straight just to prep for this weekend because I knew how hot it was going to be with this green screen and this college shirt and all of these monitors running. It is like 300 degrees in here. I may look cool under pressure on the mic, but I am very hot right now. Okay. Both physically and mentally. Somehow my brain is sweating. Sigrid Seeker will be banned out. Sigrid being banned out by Hefty Cormorant. It is interesting because, you've got the better Sigrid player in my story, but maybe they know something that Cute Hamster has been trying secretly or in scrims or in some of those 330 CMGs. Seeker being banned out, I think that's a good look because that Seeker is very good at gathering all the intel as much as you need, has the sensor drones or the sticky sensors, as well as his ability to get four. I mean, Seeker's so strong on lockdown. We talk about how Talon was. Now, just look at Seeker. You walk into B site, throw an arrow out immediately, and you can get all four of them.
Yeah, a ton of intel. We've seen Seekers be played here on either side just to get that. Now, it's going to have to be Talon doing that same thing. If you want to get the exact same result, you're going to have to pretty much sacrifice your radar dart because they're going to be looking for it, knowing that there's only a Talon on the other side. But this is Cute Hamster letting Fixer through as well. I don't want to forget that him outside with the Deadeye, maybe taking that position that Talon might be playing. Otherwise, put the Fixer there, have him kind of playing oversight over everything outside on that site. That could be pretty impactful here on what I believe is Lockdown and not Favelas, if I am led to believe that correctly. But Lockdown going to be the map we're heading to. Whatever team attacks second could have an advantage if this game is very close. But this is a demo. This is the B&B, the bread and butter of Cute Hamsters, Blue. Do you think they'll be able to hit the ground running?
Man, it's tough to say because Cute Hamsters looked good on demo yesterday. Hefty Cormorant, they looked good on demo. Every time we've seen them go up against each other in the demos during the placements, it was always a grind. It was a grueling back and forth fight the entire time. I mean, I think like the biggest win was 8-6 for Cute Hamsters. Okay. I think they got taken to round 14 almost every time if it wasn't an 8-7. Let me pull up the draft stats here. 8-6 was last week's score on their demo between these two teams. They played
And that's an
Favelas
improvement
for their demolition.
Mm-hmm. And that's Cormorant kind of pushing them pretty close, which means it could really go either way. I believe the demo that got played was not the closest, but it wasn't. I think they had a bigger win. I want to say it was 8-5. Obviously, had to pay a little bit more attention to the game we were casting rather than the game that was happening on the side. But I believe it was around 8-5 between Cute Hamsters and Banana Smoothies. That was on Skyfell. So they are maybe kind of opening that gap up a little bit, but that's also Banana Smoothies, a team that had not been placing as well as Cormorant had been able to in all the weeks previously up to this. Cormorant not looking too bad on the demo either. I think teams are just kind of starting to catch up, kind of blobbing near the top, all finding each other. Could just be who shows up on the day here. But I think Cormorant are potentially looking a little stronger going into this lockdown. For me, it's going to honestly depend on who starts on what side.
All I know is, please do not pick Scourge on attack, Cute Hamsters. You tried this last week and it did not work out against Hefty Cormorant. They played on Favelas. They tried that Scorch stuff on attack again, and they just man, that was a thumbs down attacking side for Cute Hamsters. On the other side, though, they went glitch Scorch for Hefty Cormorant. That did not work out for them as well. So nobody play Scorch. Put her in timeout. None of you are allowed to use Scorch. But, I mean, there's a lot of people always in chat talking about, oh, I'm the best. I'm better than these guys that I'm watching on the screen. Well, here's how you find out, okay? You go to checkmategaming.com. You sign up for one of those 3:30 or 8:30 Road Company tournaments. You play against these guys because they use that as practice. And then guess what? When you lose to them, you come back to this chat on Saturday and you tell me, Blue, I was wrong. I lost, okay? That's what you need to do. Checkmategaming.com.
Or tell us that you won.
We have tournaments for all. Or tell us that you won. Yeah. Yeah. I'll be surprised if someone comes to me and tells me that they won.
Listen, you never know, right? You never know. That's the beauty of open brackets. Not an open bracket this week, of course, being the main event, but all the weeks leading up to this, all the other matchups coming in here, you can go and test your mettle against these teams and prove that you're better, or get proven much more likely that you might not be. But plenty to work to, plenty to aspire to. There is money on the line. You can always sign up to try to get it.
We also have some other games on checkmategaming.com. We've got tournaments for the likes of Call of Duty, Warzone, Knockout City. I think Valorant. There's some Valorant tournaments, Rocket League as well. So whatever tickles your fancy, you can get on there and get some cash. But we would say play the Road Company tournaments. They're a lot more fun.
I'd recommend it.
Plus, they're good practice. So when you sign up for the $10,000 Road Company tournament, okay? That's what it's all about.
All about the cash money. You can sign up for it if you're good enough. Obviously, if you're watching on this, I would take a wild guess. Do you want to? I don't think I can. I don't know if I have the time, Blue. I don't know if with having to cast it, I think it might be a conflict of interest or something.
We're going to cast our own games.
I don't think we could pull that one off. Tell me if we can, then more power to us. I'd love to do it, but I don't know if we'd be allowed to.
I think you can pull it off. Maybe not me, but for those of you interested in signing up for the $10,000 events, it's always cross-platform. Everyone on any platform can play with each other or against each other. It's teams of 4 because it's 4v4, obviously. There's 3 game modes: Demolition, Strikeout, King of the Hill. And it's double elimination in the main event. Qualifiers, you lose, you're out. But that's open bracket. You can come back each week for those first 3 weeks. If you get the most points, top 16 teams with the most points in the standings, you make it to this weekend. And that's where you fight for that big prize pool of $10,000, Kresnik. It's a lot. It's a lot of money. And we're even splitting it upon, what is it, 2 more teams? Top 6 now are getting paid today.
Yeah. A lot of teams ending up in the money blue, but I think to see who's going to fight out for it, they're setting up the lobby right now. I think they're having some issues. So blue, I think we're going to take a quick break, and hopefully we'll be back with the losers finals.
Welcome back, everyone. We're finally able to get into that game. Just a little bit of problem setting up that lobby, but we've gotten past that. We are heading to game number 1, Lockdown, which will be Demolition. Again, Sigrid being banned out by Cormorant, and Cute Hamster banning out Seeker. Not the most commonplace bans that you see. I mean, maybe you'll see Sigrid being banned a lot in your ranked games, but not so much in the competitive scene here at CMG for Road Company. But it will be the ban coming out for Hefty Cormorant, and also, once again, Seeker being banned out by Cute Hamster, because, you know, that is just something that provides so much intel on both the defense and the attacking side. On a map like Lockdown especially, long sight lines. That's favelas on the screen, but don't you guys worry. We're going to Lockdown, okay? Lockdown's a prison, so we're not allowed to show the video, the flyover, because then you'll get ideas of how to break in. It's redacted, okay? As we watch
we can't
which rogues are going to be coming through. I'm going to have to quickly ban Secret real quick. Ban Secret. And then Seeker. There you go. Now we're going to be taking a look here. Saint, something we haven't seen at all today. We have seen the Dahlias come through in the Demolition, of course. Don't really see the Dahlias in King of the Hill as much anymore. People just realize, hey, bleeding out is much faster and more efficient as well. Keep my teammates in the fight rather than having them being taken out for the revives. We are going to see the fixers come out as well, just because they're available. If it's not banned, it gets picked. I said that about Anvil. We'll see one of those at least. Could see the second one coming in for Cannibals, and it will be locked in. We'll see only Kestrel on one side, something we're not used to, because they go with the Dahlia Talon.
The Dahlia Talon, and I mean, the Talon makes a lot of sense to me on this map in particular. Obviously, Delena has been very successful with Talon playing on the outside, getting them a ton of intel, and I think they just feel like they need it, considering the past, how teams have been relying on this Seeker. Now that it's gone, I think they're hoping they can make enough of an intel hit onto Cormorant to punish them and to really just kind of play the map a little bit better than them here. But one thing that's not surprising me is Anvil on both sides here on Lockdown. Obviously, shield plant, shield diffuse, very impactful for both sides, and just having some of that coverage with the C4, we have seen Anvil come in such clutch regardless. But a fixer, ditto. Both ends picking it up. Usually we see Cute Hamsters ban it, and we'll see how they play with it here on Lockdown, as they look to be playing outside for their first sight hit.
I like this. Pistol round, of course. You could go towards it. Oh my goodness, Fragout with a grenade very early and in a spot where you don't expect it. Hello. This is your wake-up call. My name's Frag, and that's exactly what I just threw at you. And that's what I got. He does get revived, obviously, because they didn't want to push too aggressively into the attacking side of the map there. But just a little bit of a wake-up call, kind of like a, a little nudge on the back saying, hey, I'm here. Don't forget about me. Bounce nade, that's not where he wanted to put that. Hits the little edge and goes towards the left instead of going towards that right side. Delena on the Talon that we've seen him play so successfully so many times before, Kresnik, especially on a map like Lockdown. And with Seeker not being available, he's the only intel gatherer until you get tracker rounds on Saint for the attackers.
Yeah, and I do love that position. I think having all this reveal, all this intel for them will pay off, because he could have just gotten flanked by Pstory and Who's Dat, but he had the dart behind him. So he just walked out, didn't get shot at all, and now he has even more information for his team. They know there's at least 2 here, but Story's flank might go unseen. Does Delena have eyes there? Even if he does, he might just get pincered here, but he's playing fairly close. Delena now has the advantage. No crossfire coming in. Story trying to delay. Might get a trade here, but somehow Delena walks away with 8 HP, now playing the corner. Who's that looking for another angle on him, but Fragout's here to save the day.
Only 1 kill with how much time has been used up in this first round. I mean, there's been a couple knocks, but the revives that came through. Now look at Who's That holding this angle. Frag has his sights on him. They're going to have to push into luggage. Frag can kind of just hold Saint in this position. He will win that fight. Now Cannibals walking straight. The shield was put up. Did the defuse come through? I believe it did. The defense takes one to start this game off with the lead. Look at that, 5 knocks for the team. Only 1, and that came from Cannibals on the Gronky. Gronky playing Fixer is also something we have not seen before. Usually we saw Frag play it, then Delena started to play it because it's the Deadeye, and he's used to it with the Talon. And now Gronky playing the Fixer.
I mean, even though he's got no down so far, they still had solid control of the map. I think it is not the worst thing to have him on. As they shift their roles, Fragout clearly comfortable on the Dahlia, on these more supporting rogues so far. Where's the point of approach for Hefty Cormorant here this time? You can already see a few of them over here by this B site. But look at this space being taken. They have to leave. That, I mean, good heads up play from Cormorant, but they all just bail immediately because they have all this control. And now they have the garage door that they can play around. To watch them on the cross, to deny them some of this other angle, this is one of the most important places to hold if they try to take any ground here. Delena just has to be careful. He doesn't have a teammate assisting him here.
That's what I was talking about. That's what I was mentioning.
What?
Seeker would have been able to just shoot the arrow, and they would have known that they were pushing so aggressively with the Talon Dart on that top of that entry point into the B site from the attacking side. They flashbanged them, and when you flashbang on plat like that, you can just get in their faces, but they opted to not commit too heavily into it. The clamshell will be set up and not going for the defuse right away because the trophy wasn't, he didn't have a trophy. He didn't put a trophy down. So just in case they try and throw anything at him, Shields getting shot, but no shredder rounds just yet. Bomb gets defused with 7 people still alive. Gotti, the only member falling. Well, the team has 2 downs now. My story did get a down on the Kestrel, but it's still no match. Delena leading the team with 3 right now.
What an anticlimactic series of rounds. I mean, they're just defusing. They're just walking in and defusing. What's the setup? What's the post plan? I feel like they just don't have it. It's like they're getting the bomb down and then putting their controllers down. Like, all right, guys, good round. It doesn't seem like they're really even interacting that much. I think Hylight had some great counterplay near the end. I think him putting down the clamshell and then disengaging from it to bait out some utility and then going back in was smart, but nothing really came in. They waited to counter that, but they just ended up waiting too long. And, you know, maybe they'll come in, they'll get this bomb down again, but they really have to play around it later a little bit better. And having a pick here, downing Delena, might be something to play off of, but guess what? It's Cute Hamster. They're going for the res. They might be able to get it even, and they're going to bait out the Halo drones in the process.
Oh my goodness, Frag. Turn around. Usually I'm saying that about Gronky, but this time, my story finds Frag, threw his drones out as well, and instead of trying to push that drone play, he just says, I'm gonna walk away from this. They're not gonna push me because they'll die to the drones trying to go. Oh my goodness, Gotti. Hello. That's a forehead. I think he could only see the tips of his hair follicles. He was able to take him out. Hylight all the way in the back, up in heaven. Oh, Gotti sees him, and he's able to take him out as well. Bomb has been planted, just over 75% through that timer. Only 1 member standing on the defensive side. It is Gronky as goggles pop, but those will end very, very soon. At this point, let it go. You're still up 2-1. You don't want to give it out any cash, and that's exactly what you want to do is grab some cash. Oh, no way he finds that second one. He did. He just shot as the screen was fading to black, and he gets it, hearing that audio cue.
Big heads up play. Getting that extra cash in the pocket. Now he's the 2nd highest earner on his team, so a boon for them to have it for sure. We'll see if they can make good on that going forward here. But that was a very different round off the back of them getting a pick. I mean, Fragout completely punished for his positioning, and I think that's because of the lack of a crossfire. They were kind of relying on that garage door control. Delena got down, Delena got rezzed, but Fragout, I think, had to adjust his positioning in the meantime, and he just didn't. I mean, he just stayed where he was, wasn't watching the angle that was now opened up, so he got punished very hard. Now, obviously, going to be a little bit further back, playing on this high ground on the outside instead. as Kenny is setting up, looking like, I'm assuming, to get a bomb down fairly soon. Will the members of Cute Hamsters contest this?
This time, Delena playing a little bit, well, too close to Anvil for comfort, but playing a little bit further back, not trying to push through that B site all alone. Worked out the first couple times, didn't work out that last round. He was taken out. Now bomb will start to get planted. Shield was already taken down. Canny goes down, gets finished off as well. And now the bomb is just hanging out there for someone to come and get it. Hasn't been planted. And this does not look good for the attackers as Saint goes down as well. Only one member standing. Gets one with the C4, but the collapse from the rest of the defense will help him. 3-1 now. Cute Hamsters lead.
I just love the way the Cute Hamsters play around each other when when they're holding on the outside, when they have everybody watching them. I feel like no one goes down on Cute Hamster without somebody being there to kind of equalize it immediately. That's how it feels when they play around each other on these maps. And it seems to be Gronky, who started that game all zeros, full quad goose egg, and now he's got 7 downs to his name, so he's really woken up in the rounds following the first 2. Huge turnaround from the Fixer, and I think what you'd expect from a character that is banned so consistently here. But I feel like they're just constantly doing set plays on the outside, set plays on the inside in terms of how they're holding, and it almost feels like Cormorant's just walking into it. Other than that one kind of miracle pick they got in the garage door area, they haven't really been able to break down this defense that they've been had, even with players trading for each other, tossing C4s to let them go in. There's just too much spam on that area now that Cute Hamster have realized how they're trying to get this bomb planted.
Delena just keeps continuing to just swap up where he's playing each round before the bomb is even in play. Just trying to keep his opponents off their, just keep them off their toes, not able to give them any intel. Okay, he was playing over here last time. Oh, he's not there this time. As Gronky was able to find my story. Finishes him off as well. Nice smoke coming in. Couple good shots on the Hylight, but it doesn't finish him off, and he gets taken out by a grenade. He was 1 away from being able to get Frag, and then Frag returns onto him with a grenade. Bomb no longer in their possession, but they can grab it. Delena got picked up by Frag as well. Frag... I thought he got another down, but that's just Gotti finally bleeding out. She just finished him off. Using the DMR this time around. Turns around the corner. Mamba bites! Who's that? Finds a couple headshots with the burst. Delena did find one on the Canny after he got picked up, but Saint's all alone, and he's also blind.
Yeah, not the best way to be. At the end of the round, caught out by the flashbang, rolling up right to your feet. It was a closer round, but it just went a little bit better for you Cute Hamsters in the end. They obviously got their res earlier than them. You can see the 5 reses to 2. One big difference from them. It's not just the Dahlia going for reses either. I mean, Hylight has 2. Delena, I believe he's the one who got that one in the last round. So everybody's playing around these respawns, around their lives, and protecting them to have a better chance here. And on defense, a side that we consider pretty difficult here on Lockdown, they are running off to a great lead, which is going to put them in a phenomenal position now with a guaranteed advantage going in at the half, and obviously going to be pushing for more. Their aggressive play over here on the B site gets the bomb dropped in the middle of the open. Someone's going to have to commit with a piece of utility if they want to get it. You can see the Halo drones just making Hylight shift, but not forcing him out of position, and they might just have to play for kills at this point. They're stuck so far away.
Well, they're definitely going to have to play for the kills now that the bomb is being surrounded by the defense. And I mean, the defense winning this would put them up by 5-1 with only one more round going into the final back half, or the final round for the first half. And this just goes back to what we've been talking about for the past month. You got to win the rounds on the side of a map that are not favored. When I say that, I mean we look at Lockdown, we look at Skyfell, and you say this is a tax-sided map. Now teams, especially Cute Hamster, are starting to figure out how to win the rounds that are not favored, such as the defensive rounds. And when they're as dominant as they are here. Pstory finds Hylight. Frag finds one, finds a second one.
Wow.
Both of them will get finished off. And only one member standing. Scratch that. Never mind. He's not standing. He's taking a little nap. He'll be back next round. 5-1, Cute Hamsters.
Huge turn near the end of that. Just taking a fight, knowing where they're going to get contested from, and already having someone on that angle. And guess what? The person on that angle is Dahlia. So they're just going to get the res on the first person who went down in the first place. So elimination's really not moving whatsoever for the members of Hefty Cormorant. But this is a demo. This is where Cute Hamsters should be taking the lead and playing phenomenally. This is how they have been so dominant in the past. Obviously, we want teams to be able to learn and understand demo. Cormorant had a great performance earlier, but this map is just kind of falling away from them so far. But that is one thing they can maybe play off of here. Huge shots from Pstory as well. That's 2 downs immediately for them, and I think no way to really pick them up.
Who's that? Did finish him off. He found another one. Finished off Gronky as well. Who's that starting to show up pretty big time this round with the Mamba on that Saint? Again, something we haven't seen. C4 is being traded, and look at that, going off at the same time. Like they're having a little bit of a fireworks show. July 4th, just around the corner. Calm down, guys. It's not here yet. But you know who is here? A man with 90 in the clip walking around the corner. That's Hylight. Finds another down himself. It's a 2v2 with anvils on both sides. And then you got Dahlia on the defensive side and a fixer for the attackers. Finds one. That's the anvil. You have no shield. Fragout all alone.
Hylight actually got the shield down. Fragout's down, though, so he can't stick the defuse. There's not enough time left, I think, for Hylight. Yeah, no chance for Hylight to do that at that point. The time was just way too low. At least they got to add a revive to the stat list there. That's 8-3 for that end. But a 5-2 half. Fantastic start, I think, here on lockdown for them. We'll see if anything changes as they switch sides in terms of rogue composition. Already Anvil locked in by Hylight, the only lock so far. And I don't think that's ever going to change on lockdown. It's just so effective for actually getting that bomb down and planted and just contesting early up because flashes can be so strong on the inside.
Yeah, they look like they want to play this anvil. It is part of their game plan. We'll see the fixer Talon Dahlia come out for the same game plan for Cute Hamster as they are on the attacking side this time around. A little bit of a change up for Hefty Cormorant, however. Bringing in the Talon themselves this time.
Interesting. It is going to be mirrored, though, but I think it makes sense to see on the defense. It just gives you so much information, whether, depending on, no matter what side you're attacking on or defending. You know, you throw it by luggage, you throw it on the arch that teams defend on defensively. When they're holding luggage, you throw it on B by the doors. You get so much info, and you can usually get it back for free if you're quick enough. If you're holding close enough. See if they can, what they're going to get from these radar darts. Early throw there by Delena already. You can see the people on the minimap for that split second. Everybody is basically revealed here. It's about to be a bloodbath here on the inside. Potentially Blue, but who takes the space first? It will be Pstory downing and finishing off Gronky. There's a crossfire from the garage door, but who's that? Doesn't hit anything. And now, 4 versus 3 advantage for the side of the defenders. What will the answer from Cute Hamster be?
Rolling around with the bomb in his hand is Hylight. This could be a late rotation. At this point, though, I think you just got to go with the fight. Pstory playing Anvil this time around. Finds Frag. Who's that will fall in return. They both get finished off. 2v3 now as the defense have the advantage. Flushing through the attacking side of that B entrance as they will wrap around. Delena kind of just watching the back of that defending side of the map. Bomb will finally go down on the A site as well. Remember, it's just the pistol round. For those of you just joining us, it's the second half. 5-2, Cute Hamster lead. This is game number 1 of our loser bracket finals. Winner of this faces against Right Turtle in the grand finals for this month's $10,000 championship title. Cute Hamster losing to Right Turtle yesterday in our winner bracket semifinals. If they lose here, they'll get third place and won't have a chance at defending their title and going for 5 straight. Cannibals, however, straight shots onto him. Hylight did fall. So did Cannibals. Finally, bomb about to go off. It's ticking away, and Gotti is keeping him, or Delena's keeping him away, but the bomb does not get defused. He gets the shots onto his head in that little space between the shield and the wall. Nice job from Delena. The opportunity was there. He capitalized. He realized with just a split second left.
Oh, Blue, that's a heartbreaker. That's a heartbreaker of a round for them. I mean, he was spamming crouch, and honestly, if he had kept spamming crouch, he might have been alive. He stopped, I think. Got a little complacent, was like, oh, this defuse is done. It's over and done with, done and dusted. And then the bomb just exploded in his hands because took a couple too many shots to the head, finger slips, suddenly defuse goes off. He just thought that it was over. Maybe they needed more aggression from Gotti, potentially someone to push around the outside of that shield instead of just waiting, thinking that Delena had to jump over, didn't realize there was a hole. There was a gap for them to shoot through here. So now on the defense, what will the adaptation from them be now? They got it so close before, maybe just stick with it, but this time push a little bit more. They're still holding that garage door area. 3 players inside only. Who's that on the outside? And they spam Hylight all the way down. Won't be able to get the res on him either. That's the guaranteed bleed out. Players holding over by the bomb dropped in the open. Going to be very difficult to get that without spending some sort of utility, whether it be a smoke or a flash. Anything that they may have for it, but we're really too close by, and they have great info on the outside of B.
Saint playing in that back arch on the site now. Being who's that? Saint something we don't see as often anymore. Nice shots from Gotti for the second, maybe even third time now. Who's that finishes him off. Canny also found Gronky with the Deadeyes. You got 2 of them out there between the Talon, and oh my goodness, Gotti just deletes him as soon as he turns the corner. Another round for the defensive side, this time it being Hefty Cormorant. The lead, though, still +3 for the side of Cute Hamster. 2 from winning game number 1.
Absolutely Deadeye domination on the outside. I think controlling that space, playing those long angles with those DMRs works out wonderfully for the members of Hefty Cormorant, keeping them in this game for a little bit longer. 2 more rounds for Cute Hamster to close it out. They need to get 5 straight on defense. 5 maybe with 1 dropped in between for Cormorant if they want to win this demolition. But in the overtime round, they have what is considered to be the disadvantaged side. But we'll see if they keep playing the same style that won them that last round, and they're going to start that same way. Aggressive on the inside, playing to control that garage door. Already blind spamming out a shield, so great information gathering by them to know he was going for it. I think they broke that pretty much right away, and Cute Hamster might have to call an audible and shift over to the inside. The players are aggressively positioned and waiting.
This is what we saw on the defensive side from Cute Hamster with the Talon, but they know not to fall for it. Gronky, nice shots on the... Oh my goodness, my story could not get away fast enough. Another one falls. Delena found Canny, or excuse me, Fragout found him with the grenade. He just got finished off with a C4. Gotti did return the favor with the pancake. Who's that? Finds another one with the Mamba, but Hylight on the side with his LMG is just mowing him down. 7-3, 10 downs for Gronky. We've never seen him play Fixer on broadcast in CMG. And the first time he does, he's leading the team in downs. And he's doing a really good job. He caught someone trying to run away, like a little sneaky guy trying to get out. But with the thermals popped and the smoke out, he knew exactly where he was and took care of him, Crescent.
I mean, you can't hide. Can't hide from a Fixer. They take good advantage of that. Finish off that last round for them. That was a great shift, by the way. I just want to call that out. I said they're going to have to call an audible. What are they going to do? They make a move on the inside. They move fast. They surprise the members of Hefty Cormorant, get great damage on them, and finish off kills very early with the utility. And they spent effectively nothing for that initial A take, which gives them these extra resources to spend on B to surprise the close holders on Cormorant that were utilizing the same strategy as last round. Now, again, it's a harder commit to A since they're all the way around by luggage. There's one smoke in the way, not willing to pop the thermals, is Gotti, so he's just blind firing, and they're already down. whose data immediately shift back. They'll play this post plant. They just have to make sure the shield doesn't get down and get any value.
Yeah, but this time they were able to get the bomb planted a lot quicker than they have in rounds past. And look at Canny's on the talent now. We talked earlier, he's been expanding his rogue pool, and this is yet another one added. And just as I was saying, Canny finds Delena in the back. He was kind of just creeping around the defender side of the map in heaven. Now he'll jump down. Look at Luggage being controlled. Canny coming back to help his team out. Flashbang, but the APS is available. C4. No APS to stop that. Shield goes up. C4 gets detonated, but doesn't find anything from it. The shield gets taken out, and the bomb goes off. That is what Shredder Rounds brings to the table. And Hylight, the main man with those Shredder Rounds with an LMG, able to help take out that shield very, very quickly. Cute Hamsters win game number 1. The Demolition. Hefty Cormorant. They're the better respawn team, I would say. They've really got to do some work here.
I would say so. They're going to have to be pretty successful over the next 3. But the demo, I mean, they had moments of brilliance, but Cute Hamster, I think, the brighter ones shining throughout that one. We can see that in the replays as we go through the game. But for me, that final round, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Blue, but that was a small miss in timing. When you go out and drop that shield, when you play for that defuse like that, especially when it's literally about to blow up, as soon as you drop it, it's going to explode. You have to push. I felt almost like he was getting a little bit baited by his teammates that were stuck behind him. Once that anvil shield is down, I feel like everyone else has to be ahead of it to deny the spam, the burn down of the shield, but the shield ended up being in front the whole time, and that's what led to everybody going down in that bomb explosion. Their post plants, I feel like, really need some work. That's 2 in a row they couldn't control.
Yeah, they couldn't really control the defensive side in the post plant like you were mentioning, but also their attacks were not as solid, I would say. I mean, Cute Hamster, they'd get there, they'd plant the bomb, it would go down pretty quickly unless they wanted to take a gunfight, which they did most of the time on that B site. Game number 1, 8-3 final score, as Cute Hamster will be up 1-0. Now we go to Icarus for King of the Hill. Game number 2. We saw this yesterday. Cute Hamster up against Right Turtle. They win their demo pretty convincingly. And then all of a sudden, it all fell apart for them. They lost 3 straight games, 3 straight respawns. Right Turtle knocked them down to the lower bracket. Yesterday, Hefty Cormorant, though, undefeated the entire day. Didn't drop a single map. Every set 3-0, 9 straight games. But they also didn't lose a single round on respawn. And then today, they get absolutely dominated, except for in their strikeout, which also went to an overtime against Right Turtle. So maybe it evens out, and this will be a very competitive respawn matchup between these two teams.
I wouldn't be shocked if it is, if Cute Hamster is figuring out how they want to play some of these King of the Hills, or if they've just also looked at Cormorant a little bit. They've played against Cormorant on King of the Hill quite a bit, and they've won. Just looking at their history of them playing against them in the qualifiers, they've already had experience in this game mode against them. So it could go the way of Cute Hamster, especially after, I would say, a pretty dominant performance on demo. I know they're very different game modes, but even with that, it's still kind of tough sometimes to adapt and kind of recollect yourself after that, especially when you have the advantage and it's misplays on your own end that make it slip away. When you're going for diffuses, when you leave a gap in the shield, when you're not pushing in front of your teammates. When it's on you, that's a little bit harder to say, all right, we'll do better next time on this, this game mode that we have lost against them several times in the past.
I mean, to be fair, you don't really try and plan to close that little gap on the shield that was there.
Yeah, I know. But it's something that you want to think about as you do it.
From Tower and from Luggage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that info, though. They knew he was close by. I'm just saying, when you're like, if I had put it there, I'm not saying it's necessarily the best play all the time, but you're like, if I had done this one change, maybe things would go better. That stuff can sit with you. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that sat with me as a player in the games I've competed in the past. Even if it wasn't the best thing to do in the moment in your eye, in hindsight, you're like, oh, well, what if I had just been thinking more clearly? What if I hadn't been clouded by the chaos of the game, by the chaos of the money that we're fighting for, trying to earn? right? You know, it's like, oh, if I had moved my Fernando shield, my Reinhardt shield 2 inches to the side and blocked this ultimate, things would be better. It's the stuff that sits with you and goes forward. And we'll see if they can handle the pressure. This is Hefty Cormorant's deepest run. Most of these players, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, this is one of their deepest runs in one of these tournaments for the majority of that roster. This is a group of players that are kind of excelling to this level for the first time. So this is a time to prove themselves. This is the pressure being really on.
Yes, for 3 of them. Canny being the exception.
Yes.
He has made it pretty deep into a couple of 10Ks before. I wanted to give you this info, however, though. Last week in the qualifier number 3, these 2 teams faced off against each other for the 3rd straight week in the finals. That's why they're your number 1 and number 2 seeds. But their second game, it was a 2-0 in favor of Cute Hamster, but it went 2-1 on their King of the Hill, and they played on Icarus. The bans, which we could see again, Hefty Cormorant banned out Scorch, and Sigurd was banned out by Cute Hamster. So we could see a repeat of that. Scorch has been a King of the Hill staple for a few teams. Namely, these 2 teams have played a lot of Scorch. And also, it was taken out last week. So could be banned this week as well. Have to wait to see if production can radio me the bans that were for this game. Did we see the bans? Kresnik, did I miss them again?
We might have just missed it, but we'll see who's missing once we pull into the game proper here. Lancer Vi will be available, picked up by both ends. Fixer and Sigrid are the 2 bans taken out. So after that last game, they don't want to deal with that. Fixer and Sigrid, again, I mean, you're mentioning it as a target. I think that makes sense to want to get rid of.
Yeah, but what's very interesting is that we're playing on Icarus, Fixer, Sigrid being the ban, so Scorch is available. Where is she? Nowhere to be seen. Instead, they're going with the Lancers on both sides. Of course, the Kestrels, that's a Slayer Rogue. Put it in. You've got Shock as well with the flashbangs, the Rage Up, and also a Semtex. He's just very good in these situations. You have Vi. We talked about her earlier and her importance in these game modes, and then they just go with the Lancers instead of the Scorches. So that's kind of surprising, especially with the Vi's out there having the ability to throw incense. Maybe the Scorch, can walk through them, push those Vi's, be very aggressive in their faces. But you won't see that this time around.
Yeah, I think they're prioritizing that Vi for the bigger uptime on the incense and the Vile Poison, just being able to stack quite a bit of it in a map that will be really chaotic all the way throughout. There is an early meeting on the outer balcony. It's a trade 1-for-1. Canny definitely Hylight here. Where's the push from Gronky? Won't be finding too much, but Delena is there to clean up Canny and Who's Dat as they settle here in control of the objective. Early time their way, and are they already looking for hill number 2? I mean, you mentioned how important it is, but this is really showing that priority. Lose 1 fight, give up all the time just to get this 2 potential 3 hill.
And already setting up for the second hill will be Hefty Cormorant. This is something we saw Right Turtle work very, very well for them against Cormorant. They say, okay, we are losing this objective. We're losing this hill tremendously. We need to just go for the next. On that Favelas map, most notably, it took them, 2 hills? Down by 99. They came back with the last 2 hills remaining. This map, however, hill number 1 is the same hill as number 4. So you will see those same rotations coming through at the end. And getting shot in the back, not noticing. Quick and Quiet being activated by Frag. He quickly falls as well. With Gronky trying to finish that off, drones will be used, but he's already long gone from that angle. And then he finds a double. Gronky will take control of the objective, and they will just start stacking some more points here as they will reach the 50-point mark. That's 1/3 of the way to success.
But here's the question. Now, does Hefty Cormorant just hold the 3rd hill? It looks like that won't be the case. They are going to try to take a bit of ground here. Candy getting the first down onto Delena, but it's traded out right away. Fragout constantly getting the best of Story. And even though it's going 1-for-1, it's going dead even. Going back in their favor. It's down to this 1v1. Gotti ends up winning out on it. But I think it's just in time for the hill. It's only 12 seconds left, and Delena actually came in for the cleanup, so barely any time once the fighting broke out. Maybe finally, it looks like they will get control of it, but they're only seconds away from a rotation of the hill. It's going to go right back to the middle of the map, and Hylight's already here, ready to contest.
Gotti found Gronky to finish off that last engagement. And now already starting the next one. Hylight. We'll find one, but my story, who's that Gotti finding a triple between the three of them. 68 for the side of Cute Hamster, but climbing from 55 and up. That's Cormorant. This is a lot closer than what we've seen these two teams play before. Usually Cormorant in the past 3 weeks has gone out and gotten the lead, and then, you know, they win round 1 or 2. And then we go to round 3, and it's just a blowout from Cute Hamsters, and that's really what has been the keys to their success. Now they start to step away as they are early rotating for that last and final hill, which is essentially the best hill to defend. If you gain control of it, you know exactly where they're coming from. Either end of the street, you can hear them if they're going to be coming through that alleyway.
A great hold, though, so far, Blue. I mean, you can see there now that it's flipped. 30-second deficit for them, but they have a fantastic hold. And if this first attempt to break in doesn't work, I think they might be struggling here, but Gotti actually playing this edge perfectly. Fragout going to be forced to push and lose the gunfight. Delena's coming on a flank for him, though, but that should mean that the rest of their team is stacked up fairly well. They did deny a little bit of time, but now they're looking to all maybe come from the same angle here, and what could have been a 2v1 is lost to them as they stack up some area denial util in that center area. They just don't want to have to worry about this whatsoever, but they should be more worried about behind them. Fragout finds one down, can't find any more than that, and I think Story's pinch here is going to be super important. It has to work out, but it's just not working so far. Delena comes back for him, but while he's distracted, they walk back in, and they might be wresting control back away from them. Gronky, excuse me, the last one left on the hill. They get it back. This next fight, if it's fast enough, will likely decide how this first round is going to go.
Yeah, the quick and quiet wasn't available for my story, so he did end up going down the first time, but this respawn, he walks through, little sandwich with Canny's help inside alley, and he's able to take out Frag. Hylight finds who's that, but he quickly gets returned on by Canny, who's holding this angle off the box inside of the alleyway, and time runs out, and that will be the round. Hefty Cormorant lead 1-0. This has been their strong point, the respawns. A lot of teams, you would say, have gotten further in the tournament just because they're more prepared for these respawns, and in a best of 5, 3 out of the 5 are respawn modes. You don't even have to win all the demos. We mentioned this at the beginning of the broadcast. It used to be you can lose every respawn and still lose the match because it was predominantly demo. Now, it's the other way around. So you got to be able to win the respawns, at least one of them, if you're a top demo team.
Yeah, you have to have that flexibility, that versatility, and evolving in a game that evolves as much as Roco has, whether it's in game modes or more. But, I mean, how can you adapt when you can't see what's going on? A lot of flashbangs end up on the same lane, but the flanks still pay off here. Now they go and spend their flashbangs. This Chalk is 12 HP. Fragout's not even looking. Canny and Gotti sync up to spam him down. Holding up there, they will get control of this hill, but honestly, these teams aren't really playing like it's particularly important in the first place. As you can see, they have this. They're going to get this tick, but Cute Hamster are just going to shift to the other hill and start setting up for what you've been calling the money hill here on Icarus.
Yeah, fast rotation to that third hill like you mentioned earlier, and then also, you know that third hill is dangerous. The most dangerous, right? There's like 5 different angles you can just walk through.
Yes.
So there's really no cover, no anvil on either side either. So there's no extra barricade that you can put down and create new angles or create new cover out there in the open. Just that fountain and then the walls that are off the objective. Speaking of off the objective, the red team, being Cormorant, they've got to try and break back in. Delena still holding onto the tree, but Frag and Hylight on the respawn able to find the kill to help his teammates survive from the side that they were pushing. And now Hylight will finally go down to Halo drones. Delena does find who's that. My story fell as well. And it's looking like Cute Hamster in the kill feed. and on the scoreboard as they take the lead 44-34 and counting, already trying to set up for the third hill. You can see the positioning from Pstory.
I gotta say, Delena was really who kept that one in favor for them. Perfectly timed flashbang with the peak, going up there, being in the right position to catch and crossfire for his teammate. That is what has allowed, I would say, Cute Hamster to keep this hill locked down this entire time. And now that Cormorant have finally come in and swung it back to their favor, they only have a few seconds left before it's going back into the most chaotic area right in the dead center of the map. Who's dead? Double Semtex going to be forced to rotate out, but they still have control of the hill. They're going to get their lead again. Gotti's flank perfectly timed. The Chalk trying to push him will go down. He'll bleed out eventually to that, but it's a 1-for-1, and they're ending up on the better end of it, especially if they can shift to the other side. Gronky gets a great position here. They don't have the utility to force him out. I think the Halo drones go just a little wide, but Canny finally has that rotation for them as they go to push out Delena. Can he win another clutch situation? Not this time, as Cormorant will continue to rack up points.
Pstory, as well as Canny, going massive on this hill. They're taking firm control of it, not trying to allow anyone any breathing space on Cute Hamster. And now look at this. They've taken the lead by 12 and still counting. Finally, the hill will swap positions, but 25 seconds left on that hill means only 25 points available. That right now is garbage time because the rotation for fourth hill has already started. Incense coming in, and they might just try and make one last push for this center hill. Cannibals wrapping all the way around, however, 72-79, the closest we've seen these two teams in a King of the Hill thus far throughout the month of June. Who's
I actually really like that.
Escaping that Semtex.
I liked the play. They had the lead, so they decided to just give it up and start moving for the next hill. Obviously, Cute Hamsters had a very firm control in it, but they're not wasting time that they would need to set up Hylight the first to go down. It is a 1-for-1. They had Story's flank caught out here, but now they're fled through the middle, but there's just so many guns trained on it. No one on Cormorant will survive. So they still have to find a way in with 45 seconds left, a 20-second difference between the two teams. They're ready to move. This utility just has to strike true. It has to find a target here. The bounce and aid will not connect exactly where they want it to, and they're forced to rethink their approach because of this low ground angle that Cute Hamsters are going to be able to abuse.
Frag hanging out on the porch, just waiting for them to push. He knows that if he doesn't peek, he forces them to have to make the first move. Gronky as well playing there. I don't know if they know Gronky's there. Well, now they do, as he shows face. Pstory quickly deleting him, but Hylight turns the corner and finds the double. Canny creeping around the corner. Can he find Gronky? Yes, he can. Now that call out will come from his teammates, but time, it's all gone, and we're into sudden death. 139 for Cute Hamster. Losing 1-0 right now. Frag finds one, finishes off Gotti and Canny with that as well. Another Halo drones onto Gronky. They have to hold this for 40 seconds now.
That's not easy.
Can't step off.
And they can't leave.
Can't die. Can't lose the fight.
This is a great position to be in, though. Pstory just completely catches Frag off guard. That might have been the crux of their push as the players in mid are flashed. They don't have any way to go in with it as the timer is running even further down. They just can't let Gotti fall here. Semtex doesn't find anything, but that flash could signal the start of their push. Story just has to win this fight against Frag again. Semtex knocks him low. He has to run away as the rest of Cute Hamsters are just clearing them off, and they do manage to keep that round in their favor with a well-timed push. They got delayed, but they had just enough time to turn it around. And we're seeing a pretty high limb game, but the downs are actually honestly spread really evenly between the teams. I don't think anyone is over or underperforming across either team.
I mean, Delena, 15 downs, but also 15 assists.
15 assists. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, 15 and 15 there. I mean, you've got some high assists on the side of Hefty Cormorant as well, with the 10s and the 11s out there. But Delena, that poison is doing a lot of damage to multiple people. And again, I mean, your abilities, they recharge. So you can get both of those back. And then also, every time you respawn, you're getting your util back. His incense, his tear gas. Already, poison's coming out. Oh, I didn't think he saw him, but he does. Lancer didn't see him. He goes down to the katana. And then another katana kill. This time Candy on the Hylight, giving him a little taste of his own medicine. Or his own melee, so to speak. Delena did find Who's That as well. 15 and counting. Meanwhile, 0 on the other side. And because it's 16-0, you might see an early rotation. Gotti with the double kill to start picking up that garbage time on hill number 1. Candy coming across. Massive flashbang. I think that took out 3 members, and Candy just going nuts inside there.
That was a very heads-up play by Cormorant. I think they send one player to 2v1 because why not? They're probably not going to expect it, and then everybody else goes to clear out the second hill here. They're flashed. They're getting run in on. Semtex spent as well. I don't think they can find that melee here. They have some crossfire. It's only 1 player down, but 2 now. For cute Hamsters, Hylight getting flanked surrounded on all sides. Hits the melee, though. Could he find another? Won't be able to. Who's That? Does get the save for him there, as this hill is being contested so desperately from both sides. Fragout, though, does get 2 downs with a huge swing for them, trying to get just a little bit more time. Does with his body for a moment, but it is traded again. I've never seen so many melee kills since the nerf to melees, but I guess with all this extra cash, you gotta throw it somewhere. Cute Hamsters, after all that chaos, they end up on top here on hill number 2.
Hill number 2, very important, like we've been saying over and over again. Hylight finds 1, finds 2. Finishes him off quickly afterwards. If you try and go up that jump wall towards well, looks like Hylight is covering it very well. Swapping his melee as he was trying to pick up the Riptide. Semtex comes in. They know where he is this time. They're going to try and take care of him. As he picks up the 24S, gets rid of that D40C. Meanwhile, there's a little mini fight happening on the side where the 1st and 4th hill is. Frag did get Who's That, but he fell shortly after as well. And that's a big wipe coming in. But Canny, now he's the chalk that takes over half wall. Kresnik, that wall playing a large part in both the 2nd and 3rd hill.
It's so important for both sides. You need to have it, I think, if you want to really hold this down. It's also one of the best ways to attack the second hill, but finally, from Cormorant's perspective, they make it on there. They do still have half-wall control. You can see Candy playing over there here. Gotti, the only one contesting the point, and down on his deathbed. Probably should have stayed not bled out, to be honest, but chose the quick way out to get back to fight with his team. And are they already giving up? No, they're just going for a long flank. I was going to say, they're setting up for the final hill already. They might be playing for a long sudden death here, but there's not a lot of time left, and they're giving a lot of it over to Cute Hamsters right now. They have to know that there's a player down here, so they start with an early flash. That might be their way in. They're taking some early damage, and poisons are traded on both sides.
Who's That? Getting a lot of extra health from that poison. Hylight will fall. Delena as well. They both get finished off. I mean, this score is looking a lot different. This is what I was saying in round number 1. They play really close. They lose round 1 or 2. And then that 3rd round, they just take over. They dominate. That's what we're seeing from Cute Hamster right now. 107-51. Although the objective is being held by Hefty Cormorant. They are gaining some points. 58, 59, 60. As they only trail by 47. They have control of the objective, and there is 47 seconds of remaining when I said that, so they have a chance to tie, but the damage is coming in. Frag, Hylight, Delena making plays, taking lives, and now they take the hill.
Brutal there. They were all just lined up for it. All the utility hits exactly the way that it needed to. You can see them still holding close here, looking for a fight. They have to break in. This literally has to be it. There's only 19 seconds left, but they're not checking the corner. Delena's holding right here. That's 2 down from the Halo drones. There's a trade. Everyone collapses, falls apart, and Cute Hamsters looking like they're going to come up on the better side of a respawn here, unless Cormorant can make it back in. There's only 5 seconds left. I don't know if they have the time. 2 more downs, though. That's got to be it. That's 3 from Fragout. The Lancer bringing true here. Everyone cannot make it to that point. Cute Hamsters with a very strong comeback performance there. 52 eliminations for Delena at the end of that round. You pointed him out after that first round to look out for, and I get it.
That's a lot of elims, man. Not as much as Emis yesterday on Lancer when he had 61 on Glacier, King of the Hill. But still, 52 is nothing to shake a stick at. Great job by Delena. And from the whole team on Cute Hamsters, we've been saying they're not very strong on respawns. They played very well there. The first round was, they lost that round. And they said, we're not looking too good here. Second round, they went out there. It was still very close between the two of them. But they were able to get that in overtime, in sudden death, take it to a round number 3, and then they just ran away with it, took full control. Then there for a moment towards the end on hill number 4, it was being controlled by a Cormorant, but they said, you know what? Let's regroup. Let's go in there as a team. Let's take care of this. That's exactly what they did. Beautiful kills coming in from them. I mean, Hylight playing a large role in their success as well, just being able to hold those angles like when he was on half wall, getting a triple before he was finally forced out of that position. Great job by Cute Hamsters. They take game number 2, 2-1, and now they're up 2-0 in this matchup versus Hefty Cormorant. Kresnik, what does Cormorant need to do in order to get back into this?
Honestly, I wish I could tell you. I feel like some of these are just gunfights that are not going their way because they're not checking some corners. You see Delena in really impactful positions. I think they just need to be pre-firing some utility to clear out some of these spaces. That's what's happening to them. That's letting Cute Hamster in. You see these flashes being thrown before they go in on really key positions, like the player sitting on low ground, like players maybe sitting behind the planter over there on hill number 2. I don't see that happening as much from the members of Cormorant. I feel like Cute Hamsters have a plan going into every hill, and Cormorant are kind of flying by the seat of their pants sometimes, and it works because they are such exceptionally skilled players. But Cute Hamsters just seems like they have the books ready, right? They know what to expect going into each hill, what the impact position is going to be, and they're putting either utility on it when they're pushing it, or their most impactful player on it when they're looking to hold it and deny them from taking any ground.
Well, taking a look at the series layout here, game number 3 is where we're heading. And where? Well, we're going to Favelas for Strikeout. A little bit faster paced action, but then things start to slow down towards the late ends of each round because you have those respawn tickets. You only have a certain amount of them, 16 to be exact, at the start of each round. You have to win 3 rounds in order to advance. Will Cute Hamster win it? They did lose their Strikeout versus Banana Smoothies in their previous match. Will that be the case? Hefty Cormorant also, the only game they were able to win against Right Turtle in their previous matchup was the Strikeout. So it's looking good for Cormorant.
It could be, but the thing is, the last round it could be a Canal Strikeout problem for both teams, because Cormorant won their Canal Strikeout, Cute Hamsters lost their Canal Strikeout. Now we're in Favelas. Things could be different here, as I feel like this mode is about kind of controlling the same space other than that one far side of the map site that you can play on. If you just control the high ground, if you control that zip area, it becomes a lot harder to actually push and take ground if Cute Hamsters end up on the better end of that fight. Hefty Cormorant will need to know their setups and know where to toss the util before they go in to actually get in and kind of execute what was missing from that King of the Hill. But we can look at the bans here. Cute Hamsters continuing to target that Sigrid, and Chalk now removed. That's a flashbang and a Semtex that were coming in clutch consistently for the members of Cute Hamsters that will not be on the table.
Chalk is a big ban. We've been talking about how he is so dominant. I mean, he has the rage. He can not just self-revive himself, but they use it to get that extra health, get very aggressive, get in your face. We saw it from Hylight, as mentioned earlier in that King of the Hill. Just being able to hold angles, be aggressive, get in people's faces, flashbang, which just creates so many opportunities for the rest of your team to work off of and make plays from. Sigrid, though, continuingly being banned by Cute Hamster. They have to be afraid of My Story. That's the only thing I can think of.
It makes sense. I mean, on these respawns, if you're afraid of the Sigrid that could be coming out, it makes sense to get rid of it. She's someone who can kind of protect tickets by just staying alive for so long, by kind of almost tanking on an objective. If you don't feel like you can deal with it, or you know you can deal with them without it, makes sense to get rid of it, honestly. And I want to point out again, by the way, no Anvil last round too, right? Another King of the Hill that was lacking that presence that you'd been talking about. Maybe it would have helped, because I felt like we were seeing a lot of people just get flashbanged but he was not thrown into the pool there to actually live through some of them and put up shields in some of these choke points. They valued that double area denial instead.
I don't know. I'm excited. I'm hoping. Okay, Kresnik, little bias here. I'm hoping Hefty Cormorant wins this so we can see a breach today. Because I don't know if Breach is going to be in the grand finals map pool, and I'm excited to see some Breach. Still a map that we do not have a large sample size on. It is a King of the Hill map exclusively currently in the June CMG, but who knows? Maybe we'll do another one. You never know. You never know until days like this. So stick around. We'll let you know. Coming up next, game number 3. It will be Strikeout on Favelas. It is, I was about to say Right Turtle. It's Hefty Cormorant versus Cute Hamster. Cute Hamster leading 2-0. Not yet. Whoever wins, I mean, if Cute Hamster wins this, they get their rematch against Right Turtle in the grand finals. But until then, make sure you follow us on Twitter at CMG_Rogue. You can also follow us on the Rogue Company channel at Rogue Company. Make sure you follow our Twitch channels as well. Let us know in chat who you think's going to win, ladies and gentlemen, Hefty Cormorant or Cute Hamster. Who's going to win game number 3, the Strikeout on Favelas, as we are jumping in right now. I can't wait to see what rogues will get picked. Sigrid, Chalk being the ones that are banned out. We'll see the Lancers come and play, the Fixers, the Kestrels, and the Vi's. Complete mirror matchup once again.
Interesting to see. I mean, I get it. I think Fixer is going to be impactful here. Lancer, obviously, deep flanks through soccer field. Vi, just a premier rogue for these respawn modes when you need to play around an objective. And Kestrel is Kestrel. She can get so much cash in hand at the end of some of these rounds. I gotta tell you, Blue, I actually was auto-completing Lockdown in my head when I saw that Favelas video because it played twice before Favelas earlier. I was like, are we playing Lockdown Strikeout? I had a minute where I was thinking that here, but nope, Favelas for sure this time here, map number 3. I want to see how they take this, where the first site is going to be, if it's going to be on high ground, if it's going to be over in the field. So the Lancers might be flanking on the high ground this time instead, pushing past that zip. You could already see that one trail of red smoke, Fragout, disengaging from the rest of the team, looking to play a crossfire angle, but they don't need the help apparently from him to take down Cannon.
Already, trades coming back and forth. Lead already in control by Cute Hamster. Gronky, though, on Favelas, it's kind of his map from what we've seen in the past. No matter the game mode, he kind of just finds ways to be very successful on it. I believe Gronky is playing the Fixer once again. Kind of surprised us in that first game on Lockdown, saying, hey, I've never played this, or you've never seen me play it, but I'm kind of really good with it. Gronky with the Nightshade in his hand, though, finds Gotti. Delena also with the Nightshade in his hand, found 1 kill for himself. And now look at the score. It was just 15-13, and now a 6-ticket lead for Cute Hamster. And nice Semtex, kind of just to do some extra damage if he does end up pushing all the way through the doorway. He wins that fight. Delena and Frag finding the back 2 of that triple and the rest of that team wipe.
Blue, this genuinely might be one of the fastest rounds of Strikeout I've ever seen so far. I blink and you miss it. It's already 13-2. Finally a poke back from Hefty Cormorant as they are just getting destroyed on every end of the map that they try to take. Down to 0 tickets already. They're going to need to win at 4 versus 14 if they want to have any chance of really turning this one around. They have Canny fairly close by, but you just can't. I don't know if you can beat these overwhelming numbers. They can do 4 4v1s and still end up on the better end, but now overconfidence maybe. Numbers playing against their advantage here, but here is the push. Distracted by the Halo drones. Hylight finds one and another. Down goes Pstory. Gotti falling will be the last person standing for the members of Hefty Cormorant. That was, again, one of the fastest rounds of Strikeout I've ever seen, dominantly performed by Cute Hamster.
Especially on a map like Favelas where it's kind of stretched out. You've got 2 Lancers. They can kind of create some havoc on these flanks and push these fights away from that objective and kind of drag this round out, right? With how big it is and how big those rotations and those flanks could be, That was very quick. You're right. That was a very fast round. For those of you just joining us, loser bracket finals between Hefty Cormorant and Cute Hamster. This is actually the #1 and the #2 seed coming into the main event bracket. And they're both in the losers finals. And they both were sent there by the same team, awaiting the winner of this in the grand finals. 2-0 Cute Hamster's lead. And they also lead game number 3 1-0 so far. It is a strikeout, so they need 2 more rounds in order to win. Canny finds Gronky, and Gotti also found Delena. Canny did go down, but it's a better trade out for them. 2 for 1. I think you'd take that any day of the week, especially in a game mode like Strikeout. My Story, though, gets caught off guard as he gets stuck in water all by himself. Hylight was able to take him out, and once again we see Hylight on a different rogue, being the Kestrel this time around. Haven't even seen him play that since maybe May when he was on a different squad.
Watch your step.
This is the first time he's been playing with Cute Hamsters. They used Ink last month. If you missed it, they won the 10K. They're looking for their 5th straight championship here. But again, they've got to survive the loser's bracket. They were able to beat Banana Smoothies, push Banana Smoothies, taking 4th place. They'll get $500 for the team. 3rd place, however, depends on whoever loses this. Both of them don't want that to happen to them. Nice shots on the Frag. But Vi, with the Deadeye, cannot see through smoke, so Frag is just going to back up.
He can take all this ground here,
Closer
but he's now
matchup this time.
stuck in the open, managing to live for a moment longer. Gronky walking in onto the site, and even though they weren't in control of it the entire time, Blue, they were keeping these tickets close. They were constantly trading frags back and forth, making this a much closer round, even without control, than that initial round on the field site. Canny is very close by, hoping to make some room for Gotti to take advantage of. And you can see one player actually on a long flank. That has to be the Lancer coming up behind Fragout. Not sure if that garage door is open, but My Story in a great position to flank and pincer as soon as they're ready to go. Delena will be the one to get punished by it as they collapse, but they're still holding the site. Anyone who tries to go in is just falling apart. Now the tickets are dead. Even advantage to Cute Hamster. One full team wipe in their favor, and Gronky's taking an aggressive position.
Yeah, I don't know how many of those kills went to Frag. I just seen Frag's name about 12 times in the kill feed at once, so I'm going to assume that he kind of went a little crazy there. As the Semtex comes in, doesn't do any damage to anyone. The garage door was shut. Gronky finds who's that again. Gotti did return the favor with a C4, but I don't think it's going to matter. 2 respawns for Cute Hamster, and 0 as Lancer will fall once again. Gets completely taken out. And then another one being the Vi. The last respawn being used for Cute Hamster. It's a 2v4. Make that one member standing. It's who's that on the Kestrel. And just with 1 shot of health left, will finally fall as Fixer finishes him off. 2-0 now, Cute Hamster's lead.
And that looked like what could have been the best round for Cormorant. They were keeping it close. They were pushing out and finding some great picks early on. I think their control was solid. I liked that little split hold they had with one player in the garage on the high ground, defensively more by their side. But as soon as Cute Hamsters got a hold of the point, they just stopped dying. That's really all it is. I feel like the members of Hefty Cormorant, when they have control of the objective, they're never doing it clean. They're always bleeding some resource, something. Someone is dying to keep their strong hold on the objective. And Cute Hamsters feels perfect most of the time. People aren't going down. If they are, it's a hefty trade against them here. This might be the first clean fight, but Story, with a health advantage, chokes that one. Fragout gets the better end, and this water site will continue to be held by Cute Hamster. Story coming back in now, hoping for a 2v1, but honestly, Fragout might have left already.
Oh, that was a beautiful strafe 1v1 there by Frag. I don't even think he got hit for more than 10 health. He finds another one onto Gotti, playing beautifully on the Lancer. He's got the drip, and he's got the shot. Who's that? Did find Frag finally with a Semtex, however, and then finishes off another one with the Riptide. But jumping down from above is My Story. Finds one quickly, gets return fired on, and Frag and Hylight along with Gronky, back in the fray and back in control of the objective. 13 respawns still available for Cute Hamster here in round number 3. Finally, another kill comes through. Only 4 kills. Make that 5 now. But Gronky still dominating. Throws the C4, doesn't find anything with it. I don't know if he knows no one's there.
It makes sense to kind of assume there might be someone there. Look at this ticket protection. They know that they're safe after winning that fight. But finally, Cormorant, with the DMRs now, I think picking some players off that were sitting near the objective. Pstory going to go for the flip here. Might deny a ticket. He does save one more for his team, with Gotti getting another great use of the thermal through the smokes. As now looking to again save that ticket. Gronky might be able to save them, but I don't think they have any nades to really chase it down. It would have to be Pstory pushing it, and they can't really do it. That C4 might make it far enough. Will get Delena low, but saved by the Vile Poison. Extra HP and still standing. Gotti will obviously finish that one off in the end, but traded out by a down. Now Cormorant have the angles to trade on each other, but they don't have a single mistake that they can make. Their only chance of staying in this series and in this tournament lies in winning this round of Strikeout in this 4 versus 8. If everyone pulls off a 1v2, it is possible, but who's dat? Stuck in a much harder position in a 1v3, but they're not pushing him just yet.
Oh, and finally he gets pushed. I don't know if he knows they're on each side of him. Finally he gets taken out. Delena will get credit for that one, but Frag falls as well, and then Delena gets returned on by Gotti, so that makes it a little bit easier because now 3 tickets available and only 3 members standing for Hefty Cormorant. It's 3v6 right now. They need to win this round. Like you said, their tournament hopes, staying alive, all on the line here. They lose Fixer. Now it's just Lancer and Vi, Canny and My Story, and they both go down simultaneously. 3-0 in the Strikeout. Cute Hamsters will take this game and the matchup 3-0 overall. They move on to your grand finals. But before we get any further into it, talk to me through this. What happened? They were the better respawn team, we thought. Their only game they won against Right Turtle was the Strikeout. Cute Hamster lost their Strikeout versus Banana Smoothies, but the script was flipped. While we look at these highlights, Kresnik, break it down for us.
Honestly, the biggest thing for me was just, again, I mentioned it during the game, but the holds by Cormorant were not as clean as the holds by Hamster. I felt like they were like, all right, we'll hold here, we'll trade this, but we'll gain this, whereas Cute Hamsters were playing to deny that trade in the first place. If you look at the Strikeout hold, when I saw it initially, when they got that hold on the high ground position inside the warehouse, I'm saying, oh, wow, they have someone in this garage on the outside. They have someone by the pickup truck. I like how they're so split and holding this space. But it ends up biting them at the end of the game, because by that hold, by having these very split crossfire positions, they're generally losing someone every single time, and Cute Hamsters are never committing everyone into the same position. Cormorant's offense was very blobbed walking into this crossfire, losing a lot of players. Just look at that kill feed right there. They're just flooding the same angles, but on their defense, they're split. I just feel like they're kind of mixing up how they need to be playing these different sides of the map, because they're giving away too much when they're playing on the defense, and they're not chipping away at the Cute Hamster hold every time they're on the offense trying to actually retake the site.
Yeah, I mean, I was skeptical if I could ever be impressed by someone like Gronky again, but I was, because he impressed me.
That's brutal.
Something we haven't seen him play before. And that was because he's just so good that you're just expecting him to do
That's
great.
what you mean.
But
Okay.
when he plays something like Fixer that he has never shown us before, and he does that well, it looks really good. Once again, 8-3 on the lockdown, 2-1 on Icarus for King of the Hill, and then Favela Strikeout 3-0 in favor of Cute Hamster for all 3 of those games, which means they win the matchup. Hefty Cormorant, though, they're not going home empty-handed. I mean, they're already home. They're not leaving the tournament empty-handed. They will get some money, 3rd place to be exact. But don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, because coming up next, we have the grand finals for this month's $10,000 main event. Right Turtle, the European powerhouse, versus Cute Hamster, the defending champions, and the North American powerhouse. Go at it for the biggest prize of that $10,000 coming up after this break.